What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Is this becoming an Assassin's Creed channel? Probably. I don't know. It seems like the last few videos have been nothing but Assassin's Creed, but that's honestly the only thing that has interested me lately. We haven't gotten a lot of news about a lot of things, like official news. It's been a lot of just rumors, leaks, and all that. So hopefully when things get more official towards next month, June, when they start announcing more games and all that, we will have more to talk about. But today's video, I just want to talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, just because there's been a lot of information that has dropped lately and a lot of interesting things that honestly I've been thinking about. It's caught my attention because it's weird. It's weird. It feels like the things that's been said, the things that's been going on, feels like original Assassin's Creed. I haven't been this excited for a game of Assassin's Creed for a while. Origins was great. Odyssey, from the beginning, I didn't really. I enjoyed it as a good game, but as an Assassin's Creed game, wasn't that great. I think there was a lot of things that they did wrong, and some things that they did all right. Not too overly critical on it, but hearing about Valhalla, hearing about what Darby McDevitt and what Ashraf are doing with this game got me really intrigued, because the way they're writing it, the way they're explaining it and expressing the story and expressing how they're going about it intrigues me, because it feels like old school Assassin's Creed meets new school, and in an interesting way. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. It's just been a lot of news lately. I'm just gonna take all this and just talk about it. I'm not gonna try to do anything too professional, because we're still getting new information every day. So things can change. We can get more information right now as I speak. But what's interesting, and we're gonna start off with what they've been saying about the story. Okay, we're gonna talk about how they've been talking about that and how they're bridging it and how they're using a Black Flag type of storytelling, where it's not a fully an Assassin's Creed game, but it's an Assassin's Creed game like Black Flag, where the main character Eivor is a Viking trained by assassins, and we're having this. They've compared the two, and we've seen how we're noticing bridges. We're seeing how Ashraf is taking this game, and how we're seeing how Darby is writing it, and he's basically telling a personal story about a Viking who wants to save his family, protect his family, who wants to expand, not for greed or not for anything, but to save his family, to expand and to build a life for himself. And obviously he finds opposition with the English when he crosses over from Norway to England, which is two maps that we're going to be playing. That's what's been told. We're going to be playing in England, and we can travel between England and Norway, which is seeing the size of it is going to be a decent size map. I don't think it's going to be Odyssey size. I don't think it's going to be massive, but I do think they're going to take the approach of not as big of a map, but with more things to do in it, which is perfect for me. I'm not big on huge, massive open worlds just filled with nothing. I prefer them to do a smaller map and have a lot to do. We've seen that in multiple games, and it's worked well. So I'm sure they're going down that route. And they did a trailer recap. They talked about it. They did like a breakdown. I think you could find it on the Ubisoft page or on the Ubisoft channel. They did a breakdown. I'll probably try to find the link and put it down below. But they talked about the story, and they talked about where they're going and how they're trying to tie old Assassin's Creed with the new Assassin's Creed and bridge it together and make the lore fit and make sense. And this is where I have a lot of theories and a lot of ideas, because it's the story that really intrigues me. I know the gameplay is going to be fun. I know we're going to play as an assassin or a Viking trained by assassins. We have the hidden blade, we have raids, we have all these things, but the story is what I want to talk about, because that's the meat of the game. You know, you can have an amazing game, but Assassin's Creed has always been a narrative focused game. Over the years, they've shied away from that and gone more with gameplay and fun things, which is fine, but the root of Assassin's Creed was telling a compelling narrative story. The first thing I want to get off is the multiple protagonist thing, being able to play as a male or female. I know a lot of people are confused, but Darby McDevitt on Twitter has said that he found a way to make it canon. They're both canon, as an Odyssey was just Cassandra that was canon, and that he found a way to make it fit into lore. Now this is what intrigues me, because how can you, the Animus, you just take blood or you take DNA and you relive memories. So how does that work? How can you have a male and female and make it work within the lore? Have, one character be different genders and have it fit? And this is where I started thinking. I started playing Origins. I started looking into Origins, the old, like the messages in the temples and the pyramids and the ruins and the Isu messages, which got me intrigued, because I'll link down below, which explains everything. It's a great video that goes in depth, more in depth. I'm just gonna go really quickly, but basically what it does and what they're talking about and what they were setting up, which they never did anything in Odyssey about it, which is disappointing, but what they set up in Origins was the Isu viewed time as codes. They viewed it as a mathematical equations. They viewed it as a system of numbers and probabilities and possibilities. Different times, different things can happen all at once. They never had a specific view of time. They didn't know exactly what's going to happen. They just saw different events at the same time happening all at once, and they prepared for all of them, which is why they left messages in multiple different areas and multiple different temples for either Desmond or Layla or whoever was viewing the Animus at that time or viewing the memories, because they weren't fully sure on if that possibility or if that future was going to happen, but they had to be prepared. By seeing that they were telling Layla to break the code of time, sense that they had, and be able to view time as a systematic equation and be able to break it apart and manipulate it and change it. And that's something that they've been talking about. They were introducing it in Origins in the Isu temples, where it talks about break the code, or find the code and break the node or something like that, where they were basically telling Layla that they're choosing her, or she has the ability to see the way they saw it and to see time the way they saw it, and to break that code of time and manipulate it and see different possibilities and different probable times all at once. And that's how she's going to be able to prevent future catastrophes like the one that happened in Assassin's Creed 3 with 2012, and be able to prevent that by changing time and changing events and seeing multiple probabilities and choose and kind of manipulate the way time goes. And that's the only way I can see them working in canon. That Layla in this game finds a way, or whoever finds a way to break that code, break time, view different possibilities of this time period, of the Viking time period, and different versions, basically different times of this period, where we can view one time period or one version of the time stream where Eivor is a male, and another time stream that's happening simultaneously where he's a female. And that's the best way I can see them fixing it and doing it in lore, because it's not breaking lore. It's not, oh, the DNA is misconstrued. It's she is manipulating time. Maybe she's not using DNA this time. Maybe she's basically manipulating time to look through this time period, to look through the Viking time period. And by breaking the code or figuring out that code and figuring out the way it works, maybe by her spending time in Atlantis with the Isu and the Isu artifacts, now she has the ability to live longer with the Staff of Hermes, and she's able to take this time and this knowledge of this Isu temple of Atlantis to learn how to manipulate time and see and be taught by the Isu specifically. And I think this is really interesting, because this is something that most people would not really pay attention to, but when you actually look into the lore, it makes sense. Being able to manipulate time, maybe being able to view things from different perspectives, being able to view the same time period but different alternate versions of it, makes sense. And it sounds crazy, but Assassin's Creed has established that's how the Isu saw time, and that's the one thing that makes sense. The next thing, dialogue choices, where Odyssey kind of went all over the place. Alexios or Cassandra was a blank slate. You do whatever you want with them. If you want to be good, you could be good. If you want to be bad, you want to be bad. You want to be sarcastic, you could be sarcastic. You want to be brutally honest, be brutally honest. It doesn't really matter. It's your Odyssey and your story, and you could do what you like. But Valhalla is taking a different approach. What they're doing is they're building an established character in Eivor. He has a set personality, a set way of being, a set way of talking, and the personality choices surround that. There was an interview with Darby McDevitt, talked about these two different. You can have the blank slate, or you can have an established character, and what you say and what you choose revolves around that character's personality. Think of Horizon Zero Dawn with Aloy, and think about The Witcher with Geralt, where each conversation and each dialogue choice you have, it stays in the spectrum of that character's personality. And honestly, that's amazing. That's perfect. If you're gonna have dialogue choices in a game like Assassin's Creed, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You need to have an established personality. That's why people didn't click too much with Alexios or Cassandra. They were a blank slate. You could be anything. There was nothing to really connect to. It was just you live vicariously through them, which some people liked, most people didn't. It's why Bayek is more emotionally attached to people. It's why people are more emotionally attached, to Bayek, because he has a personality, he has a background, he has purpose, he has a history, he has a family, and you care about that. And that's the same thing with Eivor. Everything you do, he has a purpose and a reason behind it, and I think that's great. I think that's the most perfect way to do it, because you're giving the old fans what they want, the lore, the respect and care for Assassin's Creed that old Assassin's Creed game has, or they had, and you're also giving the freedom and the choice and the ability to do whatever you want that the new fans like. You're pleasing both, and it's such a simple concept. And it's crazy how the past few games haven't really nailed it, but when you have Darby McDevitt, a writer that understands Assassin's Creed to its core, and you have Ashraf, who loves the games, loves the story, he's passionate about Assassin's Creed, he knows it, he's connected with the fans, he cares about the fan base, and he wants to make a good game. You have a match that can give you what you want, to give old fans and new fans what they want, and it's perfect. It's gonna please new fans, it's gonna be pleasing old. And as you've seen, the hype is ridiculous. It trended for like 3 days. Around there on my Twitter, trended like 3 days. What Assassin's Creed game has trended for that long before, or at all? It's the hype for this game is insane. Cap it off. This was just me talking, really. It's not really a video where I'm getting in depth. I'm just giving my thoughts, and I'm taking the information in more of a conversation type way. I like videos like this. I like videos where I could just talk and kind of not make it too professional or too serious or too, eloquent. I just like talking, and I like sharing my ideas, and I like talking to people. And I just wanted to share my ideas on the game and the story and where we can go from here, because I think what Valhalla is going to do is give us a character. What it's going to do is going to give us character. It's going to give us motive. It's going to give us reason. The story is going to have emotional weight. It's going to tie into all the Assassin's Creed games. They said this is going to be a summation, if that's a word, a summation, a summary of all the Assassin's Creed games combined. Is going to tie things together. Is going to bridge gaps between the origins of the Assassins and Assassin's Creed 1. And he's been hinting, Ashraf has been hinting on Twitter about a connection with Assassin's Creed 1, a connection with Origins, and that's interesting. This is getting me interested. Like, this is what I want from Assassin's Creed. Interest, intrigue, mystery, lore, story. That's what fans been wanting for years. We wanted old Assassin's Creed, and we don't mind if it's done new. We're fine with that. It's not difficult giving us the story and giving us a good story, good characters, good reason, staying with the lore, staying within the universe, and also having us have fun and giving us new gameplay opportunities. It's not that difficult, and I feel like they're nailing it, and that's why the hype is unreal, because there's a sense of passion to this project that hasn't been seen before. Tell me what you guys think about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I think they're going down the route to really fix the series and really put it on a new direction. I think they're going a Revelations route as well with Bayek. I feel like we're going to see Bayek's story. We couldn't get a sequel with him, and I think they're going to use this game to tell us his story, to tell us his history, to tell us what he did after. And I feel like the way they expanded Altair's story and connected with Ezio and Revelations, they're going to do the same here, because there's just a lot of things. If you go on Twitter, if you look at their Twitter from months, there was a picture. There's a picture with Abu Bakar, who voiced Bayek, and with Ashraf and Darby, and they're all together. And I think that really means something. I think we're gonna see Bayek in this game. We're gonna see Bayek's story being told through Eivor and what he's doing, or that we might see flashbacks and play sequences with him. This is an RPG. You have a 40, 50-hour story if you want. You can have an 80-hour story with an RPG. So there's time to develop two characters. You know, they did it in Revelations, and it was only like a 15-hour story. So with an RPG, they have more room, more space, more time to tell us these stories and combine them. And with Darby in the mix, they're gonna do it. And I think this is the Assassin's Creed game we've been looking for. I think this is the Assassin's Creed game that is needed now. This is the Assassin's Creed game that's going to save the franchise. Maybe I'm overly hopeful, but I can't help but see the way they're talking on Twitter, the things they're releasing, how they're talking about Eivor and this story and the passion. And Darby is explaining, he's going out of his way to say this is going to fit games together. He doesn't have to explain that. He doesn't have to constantly mention lore. He did it because Odyssey messed up. Things wrong with the lore. They screwed up the lore. There was things that the fans of Assassin's Creed, who has been with it for years, not just they just picked up Odyssey and they enjoyed it. The fans who have been there since 07, when Assassin's Creed 1 came out, have been through this, and they've noticed the lore. They screwed up the lore. They've ruined it. They've ruined lore. They've ruined previous things. They took things that were important and acted and treated it like it didn't matter, and they messed up. They messed up. Simple as that. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but and Darby knows this. And Ashraf even himself went out of his way to say, we looked at what has been done, we looked at what the community has said, and we're trying to please the fans as well as the new games, as the new gamers and all that. They're doing this for a reason. They're going out of their way to explain day one that this is a game for fans and for new players. This is a game, and he even said it, I think there's a quote that says, so that the fans can not only enjoy what we're doing and enjoy how we're telling this story, but be impressed by it. Those are big words, but they're saying it because they're confident. They're saying it because they know what they're doing. If you look at Odyssey interviews, they don't talk about lore. They don't really mention the fans. They just say, we're doing something new, we want to bridge to new audiences, and that's what they cared about, and that's what they got, and that's great. But when we have Darby, right, talking about it, and we have Ashraf, we're seeing that they're constantly bringing up the fan base, the community that has been built over a decade, and they're acknowledging them. They're acknowledging people like me who grew up with these games, who love these games, who it means a lot that these games are done right, because when you're passionate about something, we want it be done well. You want it to succeed. You don't like it. As fans, we don't want things to fail. But when they do, we get upset, because if it's passionate to us, and sometimes there's toxic fan bases, and some others we just say, we want you guys to do better, because when we know what they're capable of and they don't give us that standard, we get upset, because we're like, Ubisoft, we know you can make good games. We know we know that you can make good Assassin's Creed games. We don't understand why you're not at this time, but we know you could, and we want that. We expect that. And that's why people regard the Ezio trilogy as such a high standard, because it was well done. It was well done. It's well written. Everything connected. There was a purpose. There was a reason behind it. There was heart and soul. There was care. It wasn't for money. It became about money later on, but now we're seeing kind of like a return to old roots, which is great. But I think Valhalla is the game that we need. I think Valhalla is the game that fans need most of all, to reignite the passion within us about Assassin's Creed. I think Darby and Ashraf are planning to give us something that we've been wanting for a long time. And no, it's not AC Japan. I know, I want it too. But I think they're going to give us a story, character, lore, that it's just going to make us fans happy. And I think we need to be more vocal, so they know we understand, so they know we are passionate as well. And if they're working hard to make us happy, we need to work hard to appreciate what they're doing, so that Ubisoft knows this is the type of Assassin's Creed games we want. Not just thrown to the wind, anything is possible, but it sticks to the lore, sticks to the history. There's mystery, there's intrigue. You care about these characters, you care about the story, you care about the history and the future. You know, you respect the past, and you open the door to new possibilities. And we need to show Ubisoft with this game that this is what we want. An Assassin's Creed game. If it says Assassin's Creed, we want an Assassin's Creed game. We want it to be Assassin's Creed. We want it to feel like an Assassin's Creed game. If you want to make a Spartan game, make a Spartan game. But don't just slap Assassin's Creed on it and expect us to just blindly accept it, because we're not. This feels like an Assassin's Creed game. Maybe we're not with the hoods. Maybe we don't have, you know, everything is not old Assassin's Creed, but it has the heart of an Assassin's Creed game. And this is what I'm really interested in with the story. And as we get more information, I'm definitely going to talk more about it, because I think this is the game that is going to fix all the problems that were made in the past. And I think they're really taking their time and care and really understanding what needs to be done. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. It'll be super appreciated. I like making videos like this. If you enjoy these type of videos, if you enjoy these more just ranty talking type videos, then let me know. If you want more scripted videos and something more professional, let me know. I don't mind. You know, I want to make good content. I want to make content for you guys that you guys enjoy, that you guys like watching. You could watch anyone, but you choose to watch this video, and I greatly appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy my thoughts. And if you have more thoughts, and if I missed anything, I didn't talk about everything because there's a million videos that talk detail by detail every single leak. I just wanted to talk about the things that stood out to me, the things that really made me think. And you could check out all these other videos talking in depth about all the leaks and all the information released. But please leave a like and subscribe, comment. I will have conversations with you guys down below. I will like your comment. I will communicate with you guys. You share your ideas. We can have a civil discussion. If you disagree with me, we could talk about it too. I do not mind. So I hope you enjoyed this video. There's going to be a gameplay reveal later on this week that I will make a video on. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you taking out the time. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.